Why there are so large price difference? You can find 50 watt amplifier for 600 euros. You can find a 500 watt amplifier for 50,000. And here we need to talk about the marketing. A marketing in audio world. And when we are talking about the marketing, first we should understand our customer. Here's a classical Maslow pyramid of human beings. On the bottom, the so-called basic needs. It's a food, water, warmth, rest, security and safety. If we are missing basic needs, we can't talk about the theater, about science, about amplifiers, about technology. When we are fulfilling basic needs, then we are coming to psychological needs, belongingness and love, intimate relationship, friends, esteem needs, prestige and feeling of accomplishments. Those are psychological needs. Most of developed countries' population are living at this level. They are not living at the basic needs level, maybe few people of them, but majority living here at psychological needs. And when we're fulfilling psychological needs, everything is fine with our family, with our work, with our income. Then we start to think about the self-fulfillment needs, self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, including creative activities, and many others. When we are talking about audio, music, art, then we are there. And when I'm analyzing my target audience, those are all people which are living above the basic needs. That means mostly those are developed countries. Another important area to analyze is our customer income. There is a global wealth pyramid. On the top, there are 62.5 million people, or 1.2% of the total world population, with earnings above 1 million. Then there are 627 million, so 11.8% of population, with earnings between 100,000 and 1 million. We can call it upper middle class. And then there is about 1.8 billion people with an average income between $10,000 and $100,000 per year. That's the middle class. And the rest of the world, 53% living with income less than $10,000 per year. And when I analyze my customers, those are living practically here, in this area. I'm not able to sell to this top level. Then we can talk about the high end. And putting everything together, yes, my customers are there, and it reflects to income like here. So I can precisely define where my customers are. And mostly those are developed countries, and my customers are well educated, people who like to work with the hands as well. When you're paying for the parameters which you can't hear, you are throwing money away. And here I put together the table of the human capability. You can see that total harmonic distortions, so popular marketing parameter, human hearing limits are 0.25%. And even budget amps are exceeding that 10 times, and good amps 100 times, and industry max 1,000 times, and there is even 4 zeros here, 10,000 times. Other parameters as amplitude, amplitude frequency, those are relatively easy to achieve. Damping factor is very easy to achieve. 50 is a fine, and latest generation amplifiers has them about 500 and 1,000 and even more. Output max power with quality, crazy difficult parameter, and you can see that the budget amps don't exceed 100 watts. Okay, 100, 120. But if we carefully study those specifications, then 120 watt rated amplifier typically are capable to deliver 70 watts in stereo. Good amps about 500 watts, this is what we are targeting, this is what is needed for really high-end audio, and then industry max, there is no limits. But as I mentioned, high quality power, close to kilowatt, crazy difficult. Don't mismatch with live performance amplifiers. Those are not meant for quality. Those are meant for reliability and power. And when we are listening extremely loud performance, our ears are not capable to hear quality. Another thing about the loudspeakers, what is a little bit out of this topic, on amplifier side we have, double zeros and triple zeros after a comma. With the loudspeakers, very good, expensive loudspeakers, typical figure is about a 1%. Some studio, very specific for measurements, we can go for 0.1 to the limit of the human hearing. But typically, those loudspeakers, high-priced loudspeakers, has total harmonic distortions about a 1%. This is our hearing. This is analog world. We are hearing analog world. We are hearing analog signal, and then with all this complicated mechanism, we are converting them in brain pulses. And since we are relatively bad at hearing as a species, it's compensated by brain. And the brain processing capacity is even at a level that it is capable to fill gaps, fill missing information with interpretations. And that gives infinite possibility for sellers, for marketing work at that level, and then we can sell everything. This is also a reason why high-end audio sellers don't want to do the blind tests, because when you take away the possibility to interpret certain things, people are not able to distinguish between super trooper high-end and the normal speakers, and it's true in the business. And another important topic, audio signal is not a cinewave signal. Spectral density distribution is not even. You can see at low frequencies we have very high peaks, and those are, comparing to mid-range, those are 100 and 1,000 times larger. What happens if we run amplifier to clipping here? They generate plenty of harmonics, which are going in this mid-range, our most sensitive hearing region, and make a coloration. So if your amplifier does not have sufficient power, we are running at clipping. For example, here is a 500 watt amplifier. The blue is a 100 Hertz line, and here is the relationship between total harmonic distortions and the power applied. And you can see in this region we are not generating any additional harmonics, very low total harmonic distortions. But the moment when we are approaching clipping level, and let's assume that instead of 500 watts, here is a 50 watts, and you're continuously running in that area, you're generating tons of harmonics, and your signal and your reproduction has a coloration. So, what conclusion we can make? For clean reproduction, we need a power, this power headroom, this linear region should be as large as possible, with a low noise and high quality. There is another phenomenon, total harmonic distortion marketing, and if we really analyzing what human is hearing, that this is phenomenal, but it become kind of iconic. People are buying based on total harmonic distortion values, and absolutely confident that they bought excellent device just based on this parameter. Here I took Audio Science Review table where they analyze different models, and you can see here on the top there are Topping, Chinese brand. They recognize that those total harmonic distortions are important, and building equipment, beating Hypex and others, trying to be in a top. Also, they heavily invest in different reviews and measurements and everything. And let's look a little bit closer on this second Topping LA90, because it's still in a market. Those already disappeared from the market, this Topping B200, but Topping LA90 is there. It's decently priced. I think there is kind of a little bit different for more expensive, but let's take this one. Here we have a review from Amir, but I want to draw attention a little bit of the design specifics. You can see that heatsink is located horizontally, and it's meant for forced airflow, which meant to have fun, and then workflow could go from the back to front or from the front to back, whatever. So for such design, you should have vertical ribs. At design level, they focus on total harmonic distortions, but not on a proper build quality. They have a mainstream power supply, probably from another company, and it is kind of certified device. It's not built in. All measurements are crazy good on total harmonic distortions, so many things. But drawing your attention about the power, yes, you have absolutely excellent measurement levels, but insufficient power is killing everything, and this power is by far more difficult than total harmonic distortions. These 50-watt amplifiers are completely at a distortion level. You can't listen dynamic music at all. So this is how modern marketings today work. And here I found another picture, what is inside, and you can see, yes, really, this design is using some professional device heatsinks, and those are meant to work with a fan. So even at engineering level, building a relatively expensive device, why not to make things right? And my thinking is that it is proven business model. You are introducing some models, quickly changing them, and then there is a new one, and parameters are crazy good at total harmonic distortion, but people are not looking at the whole picture. And let's look what Amazon is saying about this amplifier. Here it is in Amazon, yes, also available. And then let's look to comments. And at the beginning, so good, but if we go lower, I paid for a new, but got an open box. After only a few months of use, has terrible random max volume clicks. So this is about a build quality. Once you didn't put your heatsinks right, temperature rises, small things, and there are many excited. But if you read between the lines, I would say what is wrong with this amplifier? It is overpriced, but if you can sell, then price is right, and they are good sellers. All respect from me. From engineering point of view, it's not well built, and it was relatively easy to build it better. From usage scenario, it has insufficient power, fundamentally insufficient power, and those total harmonic distortions doesn't mean anything. And there are plenty of such models now in the market. They are overfloating from China with a short life cycle. They use massive marketing in reviews. They're sending to all possible review places. And they are good at sales, and they are selling them. But if I would look, is it at a top level amplifiers? No, those are kind of maximum near field monitor amplifiers, and in most cases overpriced. What should be right price for such amplifier? I would say 150 euros or dollars. That would be fair price. But then we're coming back again to the marketing, and if you are good at marketing and doing things right, you can sell several things at a high price, and this is why marketing people are so well paid. Those are very educated and great specialists, and all my respect to those Chinese companies capable to sell such kind of amplifiers. And I'm learning from them. When we are talking about the high-end marketing, we are talking about this segment, where emotional purchases could be up to 1 million. And generally speaking, price there is not playing a specific role. Emotions, club feelings, many things are more important than just a price. Because if you are capable of emotional purchase, I don't know, of 50,000 euros, not $50,000, then equipment could be in this price range. And you can make the same amplifier from the same electronics, put in super nice box, and sell it. When we are talking about the high-end audio equipment, we are talking about high-end marketing. And I want to take example from another industry, from the Harley. It's iconic story. It's told in any marketing courses. Harley is an American motorbike company established in 1903. One of the two American bike companies surviving big depression. They survived the two wars and almost went in a bankruptcy in the mid of 70s, facing severe Japan competition, but they managed to recover. There's a long story about that. But that severe competition with Japanese motorbike manufacturers created the new type of the marketing. And today Harley is not just a motorbike. It's lifestyle. If you buy a Harley motorbike, it is surrounded by events, by image, by surrounding services, by financial services, by community, by joint trips around the world with a Harley's name, and Harley's organized it. And look at the image and appearance with a Harley. It's a new type of American cowboy dashing through the wilderness on a new type of the horse. This is what they're selling. They're selling that feeling. And there's so many events and also Harley attitude to his customer. And customers are loyal to them. Yes, customer gets a bike. Bike expensive, like a car. But Harley organize everything, including the financing. If you don't have sufficient money, you have the financing schemes. How can you do that? You have clothes around, you have appearance around, you have Harley's brand around. And when you put it, you feel proud. It's really to get that feeling, to get that community around it, and get people to be proud wearing Harley's accessories. That's a really, really complicated marketing. And the key takeaway is when you are working on such marketing level, there's a lot about the feelings, a lot about accomplishments. We are talking at a Maslow pyramid, really top end. If you find right messaging, if you find right feeling for your customer, if you know very well your customer, and then your devices are completely different designed. And let's look at a 6 Moon website, which is dedicated to those high-end devices. You may recognize that device designs are different. They're very nice looking. There is a shiny enclosures, specific cables, different type of speakers. The forms of the speakers are specific. You can use them as a design elements in your houses. If you look here, I don't know how many thousands are there, but this is a way for high-end. And also a lot of marketing here is based on the feelings, how you feel, how you hear. They exchange with equipment, they have a club, there are special events for them, and you live in your bubble and feel happy about that. When I'm talking about my business, I'm addressing critical and rational thinking people who just want a high quality music reproduction. And I disagree with the people who are really making jokes about the high end or the prices. No, you simply don't understand how marketing works. Once there is a customer, there is a product, and the product is designed for that customer, and those manufacturers knows their customer, and they approach it right way. The same as a Harley Davidson. But I would like to remind for all those rational thinking buyers, those definitions of amplifier quality or parameters where to pay attention. The high resolution, very difficult to achieve, and it's mostly at the speaker side. That mid-range speaker quality gives you the high resolution, not exactly an amplifier. Flat frequency response easy, low total harmonic distortion easy. And this is those China companies' approach that they made one parameter who everyone knows, made it absolutely best. I can only guess how they achieve it. Yeah, high signal to noise ratio is very difficult when it comes with a power. You need a power, and then your noise is high. It's very difficult, and you see they're not playing in that niche where is a high power. Very difficult to achieve it. Precise imagining sounds easy. Dynamic range the same. Signal to noise and power. Signal to noise and power. Power is very difficult to achieve. And you will see that those devices rarely comes above 300-400 watts. And if you really carefully look at the specs, you will see that 400 watt rated device actually is a 170. And for really good audio amplifier, you need power. Really, you need high quality power, and it is very difficult to make it.